welcome, and thank you for joining us this evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Can I have somebody move action 1.02?
Move it.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 400. In the event of an emergency and we have to evacuate the building, we have an exit over here at door 6 on the back side of the library. You could also go out the front library doors, go either to the right or the left, go out and walk away from the building. Would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There is nobody signed up for public forum this evening. I'm going to move action 1.06, regular meetings from February 13th.
Move it.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 400. Action 1.05 or 1.07 to approve March 5th budget workshop minutes.
Move it.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 400. For our president's report this evening, I just wanted to, first of all, I'm going to just kind of go out of order a little bit here. Miss Ells is not with us this evening, but I just wanted to shout out, I wanted to do a shout out because Quirks players had the show must go on movement for this weekend because our lead male player was sick, and one of the Cowboy Bob stepped up and was the lead for Saturday. And how wonderful for the entire Quirks players to just kind of jump together as a team an hour before the show, and as if nothing was askew. So your daughter did very well, by the way, Mr. Ells. I was blown away. But I just wanted to throw that out because all the years that I have done or been to Quirks players, that is one of the nightmares that you think about in your head. And to see that they were ready to play as a team and just kind of go out there, that was amazing. Just take a look at some of the minute meetings. We have our District Coherence Committee meeting, a couple of Safety and Health and Wellness Committee meetings. Mr. Mainville sent an email. I don't know if you got a chance to see that today, but it's for our STEAM night, which is March 20th from 5 to 7. At G. Ray Bodley, so if you can join us for that, please mark your calendars. Also, if you are available for that Fulton Family Fun Day, which is March 16th, please feel free to join Jerry and her wonderful crew for that as well. Our Oswego County School Boards Association meeting, which is March 25th, is going to be held at City BOCES. I would like to also let the administrators know that you are also invited. Mrs. Blake said to please let them know. Okay, so if anybody else can join us, please reach out to Mrs. Donna Blake or let myself know and I can let her know as well. City BOCES meeting also on April 3rd. There is an RSVP for that meeting as well. And then of course our regular board meetings that are coming up. Are there any questions on any of our meetings or anything that anyone would like to add? All right, Pepper, you missed my biggest congratulations to you and your friends at Quirks Players.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We will now move on to the superintendent's report.
Well, good evening and welcome everyone. It's great to see a full house. We're going to celebrate lots of kids tonight. Music in our schools. The first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to do Music in Our Schools month upstairs in the cafe. We've got a group up there that performs as we highlight that. And then we'll be right back down to also celebrate all of the accomplishments with you as well. So I'm going to ask for your forgiveness for about 10, 15 minutes, if that's okay. And we'll go upstairs. So we're going to go upstairs and watch our chorus perform for us for Music in Our Schools.
Are they able to join us?
You're welcome to come up and watch the show if you want. They would love it. So you're welcome. You should know where the cafeteria is, right? Alrighty. Well, thank you to our junior high chorus. They did a tremendous job. Those of you that couldn't be here, we had to go upstairs to see that. Those that are watching on the live stream. We had a great audience, and they did a fantastic job at kicking off, really, our musical kicked off Music in Our Schools Month. And just check our website. There's a series of concerts over the next couple of weeks. So, great opportunity to celebrate the arts in our schools. Our second item this evening is Mr. Els, our athletic director, and we're going to be celebrating our athletics this evening, our girls bowling team, girls boys wrestling, and then we're a representative to Section 3 New York State Athletics. So,
Yes, I'd like to Robert and Harper are going to come up and join me. They actually said that they like presenting much more than me, so we're going to go ahead and take over at this point. And then I'm up here for moral support and kind of jump in and fill in the blanks. Go ahead.
Good evening, everybody. So to introduce myself, my name is Robert Briggs, and I apologize, I'm a little sweaty and dirty. I just came from baseball practice. But I want to explain to you guys kind of this awesome opportunity that I've gotten to have over the past few months here. So last January, Mr. Ellis sent me the Student Athlete Advisory Committee application, and he told me that he thinks I'd be a really good representative for that and that I should fill out. So I looked at it, and basically the role is taking ideas of how to make athletics better for everyone from the smallest levels of teams and individual players and bringing it up through our school, through our leagues, and through our section, and then eventually up to the state level, where changes can be made and everyone, we make sure everyone can have the best possible experience with athletics that they can. So I was selected last June, so I filled the application out, turned it in around May, and last June I was actually selected as the junior class representative for Section 3, and every year there is so this year it happened to be a male representative from Section 3, next year it will be a female junior representative from Section 3, and there's 2 representatives from every section, one being of the senior age and one of the junior age. So we meet virtually every other month, and we also have some awesome opportunities to have in-person meetings with each other. So early December, I think December 5th, we had it in person. Everyone met in Syracuse for a big 2-day conference. So we came in Friday night, and we spent that whole night kind of getting to know each other, doing a lot of fun things. We went out to the mall, and then Saturday we woke up and had, I think, a 4-hour-long meeting. And I think we discussed certain topics for hours on it at a time. And we feel like we're really making a difference in the lives of a lot of people. So it's really awesome to do. So I am on the state SAC, which is Student Athlete Advisory Committee, but we also have a Section 3 Student Athlete Advisory Committee, which instead of obviously being sections for the state, the Section 3 one is ran through leagues. So there's certain representatives from each league, and that's kind of like your group is your league, and then you come in and you bring ideas together and make everything as good as it can possibly be. So a month ago now, I actually presented up in Syracuse to all of these Section 3 athletic directors, and I'm not someone that's generally nervous about public speaking, but when you walk in a room with 100-something athletic directors, it's a big conference room, and there's food everywhere, everyone's got a computer out, it's a little nerve-wracking. But we had just explained to them, like, hey, this is a great opportunity, and you need to get your students involved with this, because it really has the opportunity to do amazing things for people. And even if you might not feel the impact yourself, just know there's many people that are feeling the impact, and that's why we need as many possible people to apply as we can, and get as many people out there. So how to get involved? Mr. Ellis sent me the information for it, but you can also go on to the Section 3 website and the NISFA website and find the application. So if you have students or you know somebody, or you just want to check it out for yourself, you can go on to the NISFA website, and I believe it's under programs and it's Student Athlete Advisory Committee. You can check it out and just kind of see a little bit more of what we do. So our Mental Health Awareness Month is something that we find very important. I think everyone has some sort of story about someone they know or themselves having a mental health issue, or just having mental health. Everyone has it. So our Mental Health Awareness Month is, I believe, in May. I don't know the exact days, but we're just going to be posting it a lot and making everyone aware that it is the month, and we have bracelets. I have a bracelet actually from Syracuse.com. It says Mental Health Matters. This isn't the ones that we produce, but we have bracelets that we're also giving out to the sections, and they're going to choose how to distribute it to all the schools. Our Officials Appreciation Day. Now everyone knows that officiating is an incredibly hard job, and everyone's had a bad thought about an official at one point or another. But it's a really hard job to do, and I think everyone here can recognize that. So our Officials Appreciation Day, I think the fall one I want to say was in October, and this one I believe is late April for the spring seasons. But some ways that some schools will kind of appreciate their officials. They'll announce them before the games, like our officials for tonight's game are blank blank, and we would like to give thanks to them. Some of them, just do simple things like provide water at halftime or breaks in the game, or have someone walk them from the locker room through the crowd. I'm sure, as you know, that'd be a very hostile setting in a heated game, walking from your locker room to the field or to the court. So at the end of March, I'm going down to Saratoga for a leadership conference. So that is, I believe, March 27th and 28th. I'm going down, I think it's a Wednesday night, staying overnight in Saratoga, and then Thursday morning and into the early afternoon, we're just doing a ton of leadership stuff, so I'll learn how to be the best leader that I can be for myself and for my teammates and for my school, and most importantly for my community. That might be it. I think that's it.
So the stuff that you learn and that you advocate for at the sectional level, you bring this back to your school. How do you get the message out for what?
So from the sectional level, we match from the state level, we match our section meetings usually on the same day right after our sectional meetings, or our state meetings. So you bring the information that we talked about at our state level, bring it to the section level, and then it's just kind of on us to get the information out. So officials appreciation days and all that sort of stuff, that's on us to make people aware of that and help participate in it.
So you bring it back to Mr. L, to tell your students.
Yeah, tell my friends, tell coaches, all that sort of stuff, teammates.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you for representing.
Just a point that Robert talked about, but didn't really pinpoint on, but he was selected, from Section 3, the male representative for all of Section 3. You think about every school, 102 schools had that opportunity. Robert wrote an essay, got through the Section 3 committee. Section 3 committee sent it on the state, and he was selected out of all those kids. So that was a great accomplishment for him. And then next thing, he did touch upon it, being able to get up there and talk in front of 103 athletic directors. He did a great job. I got tons of compliments to pass back to him on how well they did. So thank you, Robert. Next is our girls wrestling. So we're going to have Coach Waldron and girls wrestlers come on up. So I'm just going to have Coach read off or name the wrestlers that are here tonight.
Yeah, ironically, one of them is in the picture up there. That's her over there. So we do have 3 of our state qualifiers here: Marissa Profoot, Marisol Vasquez, and we have Ryan Pitcher here. All 3 of them out of the 7 girls qualified for the state tournament. 3 of them could be here tonight. We have Lily Garcia, Karina Santana, Sahara Raymond I already mentioned, and Isabella Slaughter. So we're happy to be here. They had a great season. They're already all hard at work, getting ready for next year.
So, if I may, I came over. Well, go ahead.
Yeah. So I just have a few more, stats.
Because I want to just
So this is the second season of our all-girls team. We started it last year. There was 4 schools in Section 3. We were one of the 4 schools. We were the biggest last year at about 18. We are now one of the largest teams in New York State. We had 34 girls on the team. That's almost bigger than almost any of the boys programs that are out there. It is a wonderful sight to see our girls come out to the mat because they just keep coming. We're like 2 full teams, so it's great to see. We're also one of the most successful teams in New York State. We're ranked top 3 all-girls program. We sent more girls to the state invitational this year than any other team in New York State. We had an undefeated dual meet season. We were Section 3 indicator champions, so Section 3 did not have an actual Section 3 tournament. We called it an indicator championship because that gave them points in order to qualify for states. As I said, we had 7 girls qualify for the state invitational. Again, it's not the state tournament, it's still an emerging sport. At the time of these slides, Becca May has committed to wrestle at Utica College next year. It's our first girl wrestler to be able to go on to college. I did see that Tessa Newton does also plan on going to college next year to wrestle. I can't pronounce the name, so help me out.
Mr. Accordia, it's in Pennsylvania. Ken Turtel's the coach.
Okay.
I mean, he was very heavily recruiting local girls.
Thank you.
Well, we couldn't have done it without the support of the board and Mr. Ellis, so we really appreciate the support.
Yeah, I think a telling moment was when I went to the indicator tournament and I couldn't find a seat. And it was amazing. We had at least 20 teams, I would say. I was trying to count the number of different, different jerseys that we had. You are truly the Mavericks. You created something that never existed. Think about that. You are part of history. And it's just to watch the expansion of this across the state. Actually, I watched from home because, I was watching the tournament, the state tournament from home, watching it was amazing to see the number of girls and the doors that were open. So thank you for what you've done, what you're going to do, and the difference you've made.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ellis. You were a big part of another example of Fulton taking the lead. So thank you for your leadership on this as well.
Okay, so next up we're going to do the boys wrestlers who went on to states, and then we have Jonathan Fossey and Bailey Grubb, both went on to states this year. Jonathan qualified for the 2nd year in a row and was a Section 3 champion. Bailey, this was his first time ever going, and he did win a Section 3 champion as well.
Oh, so remember I did these slides prior to, I was supposed to be at the last board meeting, but we had basketball games and we had people leaving, so we pushed this presentation. So they were wrestling the 23rd and 24th, which we didn't have the results at that time. Jonathan did take 4th overall in the state tournament, so he was 4th in the state. So great job for him. Bailey wrestled hard, won his 2nd match, but did not place in the finals. So. And next are girls bowlers who are fresh off of a state trip. Our bowlers come on up here and Coach George Beckwood. So I'm just going to have Coach just read off the bowlers that are here today.
All right, so I'm going to start off with our juniors. So we have Addie Nichols, Haley Payment, right here up front. Okay. We go to our freshmen, Alex Wilcox, Lane Arnold, and Logan Arnold. Okay. We have 2 8th graders. Let's see these guys. Tara Murphy and Morgan Sheldon. And we have a 7th grader who's hiding all over there, which you guys just saw her sitting here a minute ago, right? Molly Smith. Okay.
And what about the seniors?
This is it right here. Yeah.
All right, so a state team we took a state team with no seniors on it. So.
Yeah, we were by far the understated states this year. Everybody had at least 1 or 2 seniors. A lot of teams had 3 or 4. Wanted to return everybody from hopefully the next year. So.
They were an undefeated team.
Right, I'll go through the slides.
Yeah.
So 30-0 in league competition. They won every match that we went up against. We won the Division I title in the Class B2. Section 3. They're going to compete at the state tournament, which was just this past Sunday. The following were all selected as first team all-league with no seniors. So Addison Nichols with a 212 average. She was first in the league. You're going to see a pattern as we go here. So Hallie Payman is 197. She was second in the league. And Morgan Sheldon, she was 181 average, third in the league. Alex Wilcox, a 180 average, fourth in the league. And Karen Murphy, 176 average, fifth in the league. There's one more. And Elaine Arnold, 175.3, sixth in the league. So we took the top 6 averages in the entire league. So they took fifth in the state.
Just sorry, I'm sorry to interject. I didn't want to, so our seventh grader, Molly, actually was 8th overall in the Empire Division. So she was second team all league. So we had the first 6 slots, and then the second team slots. We qualified 7 for awards. And yeah, I'm sorry.
So we ended up taking 5th, and I know they were really disappointed for only taking 5th in the state. So they were always wanted to get more. They were so disappointed, but you know, we were all really proud of how they bowled. If you're not familiar with bowling, they bowl 6 games in one day. It's an exhausting day just sitting there. For me to watch, you know, sit there and watch them. They're actually out there bowling. It's got to be exhausting. So you know, great job. Very proud of everything that you did. Anyone else? That's all I got.
Who's doing the slides?
So thank you for the opportunity tonight for us to come in and present on some of our athletes and some of our accomplishments this winter. So thank you.
So I just want to thank all of our parents for sharing the kids with us. What a great opportunity. Thank you for supporting. I had a blast on Sunday morning watching, and I'm looking forward to great things from all of you wrestlers, bowlers, and our 2 young men as well. So thank you so much. Enjoy your evenings. Or stay. It's a riveting program.
But it's beautiful outside, so please go if you need to.
Thank you, everybody. Very good. Well, that's an exciting way to get our meeting going tonight with our chorus, and now we celebrate our student athletes as well. So always the best to be celebrating our kids. It's the reason why we're here. Our next item this evening is our Eclipse activities and our learnings. Mrs. Geithner
And Mrs.
Hendrickson.
So we wanted to just share sort of the next phase of what our focus is as we're learning about the eclipse over these last few months and into April 8th. At your places, you will see that we have the eclipse safety presentations that our instructors and educators in the district will share with our students in the coming weeks about how to keep safe during the solar eclipse and how to utilize their solar eclipse glasses. And you should all also have a pair of glasses and or a viewer. And some important points that we'll be sharing. You'll see this handout that will go home to families from NASA about ensuring safe viewing of the solar eclipse. And also, our partners, the Fulton City Special Events Committee, which will be hosting Total Eclipse of the Park. We have a flyer to that effect with you. And because it's never enough just to have glasses, we also have to look good. Mrs. Henderson is going to share how our elementary students are engaging and learning about the eclipse, but also making some really cool things. So,
Abby Hoffman, our director's team, has been working with the art department. The elementary art teachers started working with our pre-K students, making safety eyewear all the way up to our 6th graders to help really ensure the safety and protection of their eyes so they stay on securely. Amanda was so proud of all of these. She couldn't select just one, so I brought a few of them to share. And so they started working on them this weekend. They'll move through them, and our junior high students will also be decorating some of their own on March 28th. Also this week, we just got permission from the author to read aloud the pages in here and record them. So we're gonna be working with the high school children's lit department and the news club to record some of those things on our website as well. And just one other quick thing, our elementary librarians wanted to invite you to the district Battle of the Books on Friday and in the auditorium. And if you can't make it, there's also a link to watch live stream.
Our last bit of learning in all of these colorful handouts that you have before us, just a reminder that our Fulton Family Fun Day is this Saturday, March 16th from 9 to 1 at G. Boutley High School. Our students and their families are all welcome to attend and participate in some free fun activities, solar eclipsing, of course, but we also have a number of community partners who will be sharing information about the services they offer. There's lots of fun giveaways and prizes. Our fabulous food services and school nutrition department will be providing breakfast and lunch. And if people need transportation, as long as they give us a call by Wednesday, we'll be able to make arrangements to ensure that they have a safe ride to and from Fulton Family Fun Day. So also at your place is a little opportunity for some relaxation for the adults in the room. It's a little coloring sheet that our elementary students will be getting, and if they have some time in their day, they will be coloring a personal invitation for their families, reminding them about Fulton Family Fun Day. I just have a couple quick questions. For the total eclipse of the park, yes. Do we know what time our choir or our jazz band will be performing? I do not yet have a schedule. The committee does have a list. Is it on the bookmark yet?
We said 12 to 4, and we're probably going to start with the jazz band. I know Chris was working with the music department to solidify a time, but we'll get that out.
Okay. Because that, that's definitely going to draw a lot of people over there, on top of, the really cool eclipse, I mean. But, the eclipse thing, but I just lost it, so that is gone. Battle of the Books, thank you for having a live stream link, because being during the day, many of us won't be able to make it. So
thank you, Crystal, for helping us to put that together today.
Thank you.
A lot going on here in Fulton, in the Fulton City School District for our eclipse and preparing our families and our children.
And the last thing, I know Mrs. Applegar already mentioned it at the beginning, but STEAM night, in the sequence of events, there's so much to do. Music in our schools month, Battle of the Books, Fulton Family Fun Night, then, or Fun Day rather, then STEAM night at GRB will be the next event after that. So March 20th, 5 to 7 p.m. And our high school students who will be showcasing their work have invited their 4th grade counterparts to also be part of GRB STEAM night because of the project that the 4th graders worked on with our high school tech department and science department. That's great. Thank you for bringing us all this.
Thank you to the team and everybody who's been working. I know it's been many, many people putting this together, and a lot of efforts on behalf of our kids for all of the different events. There's so many different things going on. So thank you to everybody who's been a part of all of the work behind the scenes. Next item is the instructional calendar. It was presented at the last board meeting. I don't know if there were any questions that had come up since. We cleaned it up a little bit. We took off the test dates because there was literally ranges over a month, and those would go out separately. This cleans it up a little bit. It was a little bit busy, so this goes directly to the instructional days. And we'll start right before Labor Day on the 28th. We're going to put an August calendar in there, but you note that I've said we're starting on August 28th will be the day the staff will be coming in. Any questions? And finally, not finally, 'tis the season. We're in the 24-25 budget development season. Dr. Leasing and your team?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Bobino. So as always, we start with our mission and vision. Certainly the budget is driven by those, as well as our shared values and beliefs. We continue to work on a strategic coherence plan. These pillars were started several years ago, and continuing that work, and doing so by focusing this in our new strategic coherence plan with this overarching model that still keeps in mind the work that we've done in the past. And of course, we're finding ways to focus even more as we move through the process. And as you'll see in the center here, learning wellness and life pathways is at the center of what we're focusing on moving forward. And we've shared these outcomes for 24 through 29, which is just a general idea of the direction we're moving in. We'll read these for you. We've been through these several times, but this kind of gives you an idea of what we're thinking about as we move to allocate our resources for our learners. We provided these before. This is what New York State has given us as a portrait of a graduate, just some general ideas. These are the attributes that not just the state, but we agree with as our young learners graduate, that they should leave with: being a critical thinker, innovative problem solver, literate across the content areas, cultural competence, social and emotional competence, effective communicators, and of course, being global citizens. With that being said, I've shared some financial considerations and challenges as we develop the budget, and I wanted to share a little bit more of a broad perspective as we move through these. I wanted to, as we begin this process, one of the things I wanted to do is share with our constituents and of course the board. We talk about our programs, the work that we're doing in district, but I think a perspective nationally is important for us to understand, particularly as we've come through the era of COVID, learning loss, and so on. But just some figures to keep in mind as we move through. The national figures, for example, 13% of 8th graders in the United States met the U.S. proficiency standards. Additionally, 33% of 4th graders nationally were proficient in reading and math. 2023 saw the largest increase in per pupil costs in over a decade. That was up 6.3% nationally. New York is the highest at $26,000, a little over $26,000 in the fiscal year 2021 at per pupil costs. Fulton per pupil cost that year was $22,800. The county average is $22,500. That puts us slightly over the average countywide. And those are figures that I thought would be valuable for us to know, again, as we're contemplating these overall resources. Safety and security costs, and I wanted to point this out again as we're having this conversation. Just last year, these are real dollars. The increase in safety and security costs for the district were approximately $700,000. And we're not reimbursed for those costs. Those are actually our costs that we pay to keep our students and staff safe. Our unanticipated costs, I say unanticipated, but I think we're all well aware of the fact that we anticipated to some degree that healthcare costs would increase, and they have. Maintenance and repairs, we've talked about the fact that our buildings are aging, and there are issues around when we can apply for capital improvement plans and how that works and so on. And I think I've mentioned previously that our district architect has identified, I believe it was $40 million in needs, and that isn't wants, but those are needs that are becoming issues from the standpoint of maintenance and repairs. Despite the fact that we have identified that $40 million in repairs, we're only able to do so much every so often to address those. By the time we've done that, we now have a new list of things that need to be addressed. We've also seen heightened absences in regard to staff attendance, which again is an additional cost that we don't normally anticipate at the level that we're seeing. Additionally, I've talked about inflation and how that's compounded. The impact is compounded over the years. And again, I'm just going to share this once again with folks just to give you a real sense of the costs over the past several years. And so the best way to look at this is if you compare the years 2017 to 20 with the years 2021 to 24. Of course, I'll remind everybody, not that I need to, but COVID, and this shows the impact of that. And just the two figures to look at here, the cumulative price index. If you see the 3 years between 17 and 20, and you compare that to 21 to 24, you look at the huge jump in the costs. And the real way of looking at that is the CPI, the Consumer Price Index. If you imagine weekly groceries, if you use that as an example here, and you look at what weekly groceries might cost in 2017, and you compare that to 2024, and you look at the increase That's significant. And what that says is our costs in doing business have risen to the same degree. And I think that's important to have as a perspective. Just to review our projected revenues so far are, if the levy stays the same at the point at which it's now, and state aid stays the same, and miscellaneous income stays where we anticipate, the total is $336,195. Our foundation increase from 23-24 was about 4%, which is about $1.7 million. This does not include the pre-K aid that usually balances out with our expenses. And our total aid increase from 23-24 was approximately 7%. That's total overall, not just foundation aid. Our preliminary budget figures, we're looking at $89,607,461. That's a shortfall of about approximately $3.2 million. And if you distribute that into three areas, capital, administrative, and programming, the percentages are approximately where they were last year. We've seen a general increase overall, again, as a reflection of both inflation and the cost of doing business. I also wanted to share the property tax comparison. Our tax cap this year is calculated at 3.92%. Now that's the maximum that we're able to go to. That's not what we're anticipating, but I wanted to show the breakdown of what the revenue would be if there's increases at different rates. So everywhere from 0% increase to 3.9%, you can see the overall revenue change as part of those different breakdowns. And so at 0.5%, the increased revenue would be approximately $110,000, all the way to 3.92%, where the revenue would increase by $864,000. But keeping in mind, if we were to go to the tax levy, that's $864,000. Going back real quick, we still have a shortfall of approximately $3.2 million. Also wanted to show the per household impact. And so just some general ideas here. This would be the estimated impact of a 2% increase. So going back, the 2% increase in incentive will generate revenue of approximately $440,000. This is after the basic star exempt, and I do want to say these are estimates. But for a home assessed at $100,000, that would be about a $32 increase per year. For a home that's assessed at $200,000, about $78 increase per year. And for a home that's assessed at $300,000, it'd be about $124 increase per year. And if we went all the way to the other end and had an estimated impact for a 3.5% tax levy increase, you can see the figures there. So it ranges for a home assessed at $100,000 would be approximately $56 per year increase, all the way to $300,000, where we would see a $217 per year increase. Again, this is after the basic star exemption. These are estimates. A lot of figures here, but I will simply say that what this shows is the enacted tax levy over the past 10 years, what the increase has been, the actual increase. It shows the percentage that has been increased over 10 years and what that averages out. You'll see that in 2 years, in the 21-22 school year and the 23-24 school year, there was a 0% increase. The overall average increase over 10 years has been 1% per year in the tax levy. What that's equaled in the long term, if you look at what the permissible increase was compared to the actual levy, what was left on the table essentially was about $2.7 million by not going to the cap each year. I also wanted to show our 5-year projection. Again, this is estimated based on what we anticipate in terms of aid, and just some parameters here in the 5-year. This assumes a tax levy increase year 1 at 2% and years 2 through 5 at 2% per year. And so just to kind of clarify what this really looks like, if you look at the very bottom there, you see the surplus and deficit. Again, 2% increase year 1, 2% 2 through 5. You can see that in the 24-25 school year, next year, the deficit is about $2.8 million. As we continue on, If we continue with a 2% increase, we're still looking at approximately a $4 million deficit. And carrying that through a little bit further, this one shows a tax levy increase at 3.5% year one and a 2% increase in years 2 through 5. And again, it's the same parameters. You can see 24, 25, what the deficit is, and all the way through to 27, 28, the deficit being 3.7 million. And again, estimates, but I think it's good for us to look long term and see what the impact is going to be financially. Also created another way of viewing this. So year one for 24-25, given the proposed budget and some other options here, wanted folks to see what the levy would do along with some other work that we're doing in business office, and of course through some of the work that we're looking at financially, what it would look like overall. So with a 2% tax increase, we've added a couple of different caveats here. We have some grant carryover and some other miscellaneous revenue that we think we'll be able to work into this budget. Also, we're discussing other tentative financial reductions. Those may amount to approximately 1.8 million. If that's the case at a 2% tax increase year one, we would still be looking at a shortfall of approximately $1 million, even with that, the 1.8 worked into those figures. And again, you can see what it looks like at 2.5%, 3%, 3.5% year one. I know that's a lot. That's a lot of math. Questions?
Thank you for that information and for putting all of those 4% together for us to look at it for the community to see.
I would have sang it, but I couldn't hold a candle to the seventh grade graders.
I did say that up there.
I know.
This just is not as entertaining, but it's a necessity, so we do need to talk about it. And to see the difference between the 2% and the 3.5%, I mean, that is substantial.
Right.
And that's what doing the 2% each year after, correct?
That's correct. Well, this doesn't show that. This simply
doesn't
shows
show that.
year one.
Okay,
If
just
we
the first year. Okay.
Right.
And any adjustments in the first year obviously compound over time as well. Any reconfigurations of the way we're doing things, reductions through attrition, a lot of different things, different strategies that we're having right now.
Correct.
But I think one of the things that's more challenging this year than ever before is the state's, saying in 2 to 3 years that fiscal cliff is coming up for the state as well. And I think it's hard because we don't know our revenues from the state. We know what we have currently this year. What we never know is what the state's going to move forward. So I just wanted to add, I did reach out to the small cities. President Abelgore had asked me to do that. I did not get a response back today if they had live streamed yesterday, if they had recorded, so anybody could listen. We did have the Small Cities Association legislative meeting, a Zoom meeting yesterday. Senators Mayor and Tedesco were present. They sit on the state's education committee. Both of them are extremely supportive. In your packets, there's a sheet called Senate and Assembly One-House Budgets. This came out actually hot off the press late last night. They're going to be voting on that this week. So the Senate has to come up with a budget. The Assembly comes up with asks, things like that. The governor already had put out the original executive budget. So now over the course of the next 3 weeks, hopefully for an on-time budget, April 1st, is they come up with something that benefits the needs, across the state. And there are a lot of asks. When I was at the NISCUS conference last week, I sat in on the state budget sections. And one of the things they talked about, there's an agreement that there's $1.4 billion more available since the governor's budget that came out. So they're playing with $1.4 billion. The problem is the challenges. Not the problem. The challenge is healthcare has significant challenges. Education has significant challenges. There are many other groups that are also facing the similar types of things and the challenges that are out there. So I will say that I was very, very pleased with Senator Mayor and Tedesco and Benedetto's representative that they're very consistent, the Senate and the Assembly bills, which is a good thing to see. Sometimes they're not always that way. Every one of these bullet points could have benefit to the Fulton City School District. I did speak to the fact that, you know, there's a lot of focus on the Save Harmless schools. We had 339 school districts in the state of New York that actually had a negative increase in their foundation aid, so they actually have less than what they had in the current year that we're in. But I am pressed upon some of their solutions are to close the gap, is to get them back, plus give them 3%. My point was that would then put the formula once again not being equitable distribution. So they are talking, and I think about one of the things that they talk about is the foundation aid formula was based on 10 years, taking out the high and the low, coming up with a 2.4 inflation index in that formula. They are pressing for a 4.1 or a 4.2, which could have a significant impact on our amount as well, which really is what it is. It actually was 4.1, is what it should have been in the formula. But the formula was manipulated, which then had some impacts. So I was pleased, you know, and it was good, but I advocated for also, there was a lot of discussion, Save Harmless. There's also districts, even though we got an increase, feel that make sure if you make that increase on one side, you know, for all those schools that were at Save Harmless, make sure that there's benefits as well, or that formula once again was manipulated in a way that wasn't as equitable as possible for all of the students in the state of New York. You know, and I'll say it because this is about all the kids in the state of New York when it comes down to this state budget. You know, and obviously we're here to advocate for Fulton's fair share as well.
Thank you, Dr. Elizabeth.
My pleasure.
Okay. And I believe that's the conclusion of the superintendent's report. It was an exciting night. It's a great way to start with kids, so thank you.
Somebody move action 4.01, accept the financials.
Move it.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 4-0-0. And if somebody move action 4.02, approval, disposal of surplus property.
Move it.
Second. I do have one quick question. So the furniture and materials that are being discarded, are they truly discarded or are they able to be put on your
We've been watching closely to see if they've been auctionable.
auctionable? Thank you.
Yeah. So if they're on the discard list, they're beyond the
Beyond auctionable, okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 4-0-0. Action 5.01, approve committee on special education.
Move it.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 4-0-0. Action 5.02, to approve the poll inspectors.
Move it.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 4-0-0. Action 5.03, approve the 2024-2025 instructional calendar.
Move it.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 4-0-0. Can I have somebody move to batch personnel 6.01 to 6.06?
Move it.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes 4-0-0. Board forum. Ms. Apples.
Okay, so thank you for the junior high to come and sing for us. That was really great to see. Also, I did sing that I Love the Piano song in 7th grade. Just had to add that in there real quick. That she does repeat that one, and I love it. Thank you to some of you who came out and saw the show. I really appreciate it. I love seeing you guys out there. I hope it was good. I hope you enjoyed it. Athletics, obviously. Yeah, for all those presentations. Congrats to Jonathan and Bailey at States. The girls bowlers did absolutely amazing. I can barely reach 100 and they're over here. Perfect scores. So girls wrestling. Thank you for the budget, of course. And that'll be all.
Mrs. Hutchinson?
I just wanted to say what an amazing job our students did at the Footloose performance. Very well done. And also, thank you everybody who presented tonight. The music in our schools is always one of our favorites. And the update on athletics, just really seeing what our girls are doing is absolutely amazing. I mean, you know, 5th in state in Poland, like a 30-0 record, like that is, I don't have any words for it. It's phenomenal. And that's coming from somebody who can bowl like a solid 50 with like the bumpers up. And our girls wrestling, like, I mean, just to see, you know, 34 girls and, you know, 7 girls going to states, it's absolutely amazing. Like, I'm just blown away and impressed by their work and their dedication. Very well done. I know Mr. Ellis has left, but I would like to at least ask if Harper can get her an increase in her allowance for carrying him tonight. So, you know, I would like to, you know, volley for that a little bit, but just thank you, everybody.
Mr. Crandall?
Yes, I want to piggyback off of Fallon for her comments and thank music department, athletics, and budget department. We'll give them a shout out. We'll see how loud the shout is at the end of it. And that's it.
All right. Mrs. Mainville?
Footloose was so good. Harper, it was so nice to see you on stage again.
Which day did you?
I went Thursday and a little bit of Friday. Yep. And just, I got to volunteer by the door, so I got to actually see how many people came through, and it was really impressive. I don't know if you actually sold out on Friday, but it was really close because I
heard
was.
there were only 30 seats left.
Yeah, it was really
It was
close.
great.
Yeah, it was so good.
There was a lot of people there.
It was great. Henry Jarrett did great. Braden Frost?
Yes.
Yes. Who does that? Who can do that?
Braden
I don't
Frost
know.
He did great. He did great. He
That
literally
means he
had, like,
actually like had to pay attention to other things besides what he was doing. Like, that's incredible. I didn't get to see that, but I can't.
Yeah, he did
That's
great. He
really
really
impressive. So, congratulations, you guys, like, on all of your hard work, because I know a lot goes into that, for sure. A lot of volunteers. It was just a really great atmosphere. It was fantastic. Music in our schools, Mrs. Almeida, her passion for what she does is just contagious. So, no wonder why our music department is so successful, because of people like her and getting all of you guys involved and just pumped to do your very best. It's great. Mr. Alls, like, I wanted to give him a shout out. I know that I often give him a hard time. He's doing amazing things at the high school. Like, wow, like, you have the screen up with all these new things coming. Our sports teams are doing excellent. And I mean, that's a testament to his work. So we're really thankful for that. Our bowling teams were great. Our wrestling teams, what great role models for the girls. I've never seen a girls wrestling match, but I was able to this past season, and it was electrifying. But that's it. I mean, their grit and their mental toughness. I've never seen anything like it, quite honestly. The Jonathan and Bailey going to states, Mr. Beckwith and his bowling team, 30-0 record, really. Like, we're doing really great things in Fulton, and the spring season just occurring. I was picking up Allie from lacrosse, and there had to have been 80 to 100 kids on the turf. So, I mean, great things are still rolling. Everything that's coming up in Fulton, we have a lot to celebrate. Our family fun nights, our Battle of the Bucks, the solar eclipse in the park. This STEAM program that I haven't heard of until now. Just kidding. So I can't wait to see everything that's going on. And Dr. Lisi, thank you for that comprehensive review. And I know that has to be a lot of work and just a tireless job. So thank you.
I really just want to say that my colleagues have pretty much said it all. Just jumping back onto the Quirks players, I mean, we can't thank Mr. Briggs and Mr. Lascarbo and Dr. Kelly and our music staff for the countless hours that they put in with the student. Whether you went to the first 2 nights or when you went into Saturday where we had a totally new lead, you can see that those kids were just shining up there on stage. I mean, it was a great production. I had the opportunity to see it 2 nights, and our directors are just amazing, and I can't thank them enough. Sports is wonderful to see all of those things. Our 2 seniors going off to wrestle for college when we just started 2 years ago. Who would have thought that? When I had the privilege to speak with the girls at their wrestling banquet, I reminded them that first night that they all sat in the front row, probably pretty sure we were going to say no, that they couldn't wrestle. Look where they have come. So I am so proud of the dedication that they put into their sport. I read in the paper that one of our P-Tech students, is it Vincent Hubbard?
Mm-hmm.
He will be working with Micron this summer out in Idaho.
Yep.
I mean, that is fantastic internship that he will be doing out there. I just want to put a plug in for the fact that we also have our P-Tech program and our early college and high school programs and the great things that we're seeing coming out of our students who are participating in those. So congratulations, Vincent. I hope you have a great summer out there in Idaho. I do remember the other thing I was going to say about our eclipse. Do you all know the time of the eclipse? Is that something we're putting out to our students? Because I mean, is it in our booklet? Because I mean, I know there's this like
23 to what, 3:20 is the
yeah, I've got like a little thing I took off the internet.
So on this page.
Oh, good, you have the actual times on there.
2:08 begins the partial eclipse, and we will be in total eclipse here between 3:21 and 3:25.
Yes, that would be great. So you'll keep plugging that out to our students all throughout the month so that they'll know when it happens. I just heard from a colleague who works out at Oswego State as well that they're anticipating, I thought it was somewhere around 200,000 people coming to our area. Oh no, like 500,000+ people coming to our area to view. They're going to be flocking the shoreline, and so if you have somewhere to go, you might want to go prior to that day. Pretty sure I'll be walking from the Fairgrave area over to the pavilion, because nobody has a place to park, so maybe, you know.
Yeah. We are monitoring still. We're getting the latest information in case we need to make an adjustment.
And you're not the only school district in our county.
All the county, we are all communicating, and I'm actually working with some Onondaga County superintendents as well.
Yeah, we definitely want our kids to be able to take part of that phenomenon that's going to be happening. So I got an opportunity to look at the website that has the branding on there. Our branding, your branding. It was very interesting to see all of that stuff up there now. I did like the little scoreboard, or the little electric board that was outside of the auditorium. I got to see that this weekend, and it had our 2 wrestlers on. Every time I looked up, our 2 male wrestlers were up on that screen. I'm sure there were other things, but it was great to see that. Quick question for Mrs. Geithner. The goal for the gold, have we gotten many applications for our summer program?
We are actually, and some of our age groups actually already have a wait list, but don't be discouraged. Please continue to register. We'll be pushing out some more information at Folsom Family Fun Day. You'll be able to register in person, but also throughout next week, we'll send out a lot more reminders to our families and those age groups. There's still room in community school 5 through 8, so if you have a student who's entering grade 5 through grade 8, entering grade 8, so currently 4th graders through 7th grade, please also sign them up. Community School Extended Day Program is a little bit of a preview of what that summer program looks like. And today at 5:30, I was delivered a hot mug of chocolate cake from the community school students who are doing a baking unit and learning about ratios. And I'm told that if you take a cake mix, and I'm going to get this, I hope I get this right, a cake mix, 6 tablespoons of a cake mix to 4 tablespoons of water, and mix it up in a mug, put it in the microwave for 90 seconds, you will have a delicious treat.
That's fantastic.
But they're learning about ratios. And that's just a preview of what happens in the summer.
Well, I mean, that is great news to hear that we're starting to fill up, because did we not just open that at the end of February?
We did.
so.
Right after February break.
Filling up quite quickly, that's great to hear. All right, well, I can't wait. I think Mrs. Almeter sold me on checking out the concert. Not only did our performers intrigue me, but I do now have to hear this piano piece that's being played. So for all of those of you who might want some entertainment, please check out our website. Lots of wonderful concerts going on in the district.
Can we give a shout out? I forgot to Robert Briggs for being the
Yes.
state rep. That's huge.
Yes.
That's huge. So not only does he represent our section, but he's out of 102 applicants was chosen to represent New York State. So and he really is a good public speaker. So good for him. He's gonna learn a lot and grow from that.
Well, thank you for shouting that out, Mrs. Engel.
Shout out.
We'll be moving on to second public forum. Is there anybody who would like to address the board at this time? Okay. We will be moving into executive session. So for those of you who have joined us this evening, we appreciate it. We're going to scoot out for a quick little bit, and then we'll be back. Can I have somebody move that?
Move it. Second.
All right. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Passes. What?
We need to move to a room.
Yeah, 111.
We'll go to 10, yeah.
10, okay.
Where are we going? Yeah.
Mutes.
All right, we're going to move action 8.01.
Move it.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstaining, passes 4-0-0. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.
I think I've got it.